We're going to do some rapid fire. Are you ready? This is something I never do on the show, but with you, I thought it'd be fun.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. If you won $1 million this week, how would you spend it?
I would donate it to the homeless right now. Seriously.
Donate it to the homeless?
In LA. Yeah, right now. There's so much
What would they do with that money?
help get them off the street. This LA is horrible. I'm so grateful the place to work. I would donate, seriously. I would give it away to the homeless.
Hello. Welcome to the 100th episode of True Grit and Grace. I'm Emily Lago, and I have the most special guest today on the show. I've had to really bribe and beg my husband, Mr. Johnny Lago, to be on the show. And I wanted him to be on the show for the first episode, and it's only taken 100 episodes for him to finally say yes to being here. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Kiss.
Oh, thank you.
Let's move forward.
Okay.
Wow, you've got questions. Great.
I have questions here. So
Right,
yes,
okay.
he just saw the pad that I have. If you're listening to this, he just saw the notepad. I have some questions because I don't want to miss anything. He just told me that I might be in for a shock, that what you might say. So y'all hold on. Let's see what comes out. He's one of the reasons I married you is because you're brutally honest. Sometimes things I don't want to hear, but I know I need to hear. And I have a lot of questions from people who reach out to me, especially that their loved ones are in chronic pain and they want to know how they can support them and how you support me. So I have a lot of questions for you, but before we get into why you have to deal with a lot of my craziness and all kinds of stuff, I'd like to go back to how we met a little bit.
You really want to go there?
Well, what is your version of how we met?
I'm okay with it. If you really, okay, go ahead. Fire away.
No, I want to hear what you thought about when we first met, because it was pretty intense. What did you think?
You hit on me.
What?
Yes.
No.
Let's get this straight right
No.
now. I pulled up on my bike, my motorcycle, like I was in uniform, and I saw you glaring at me, your peripheral vision.
Oh, really? You
down,
approached me and said, "Are you following me?"
You were walking down the shopping center in your workout clothes, and I said, "Ooh, that girl's hot." And the rest is history.
Well, then I guess we dined frequently at the same restaurant, and the owner.
Yeah, what a coincidence. We kept running into each other.
Yeah, you stalker.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Wait a second. How many guys were hovering wanting to date you when I met you?
I was a single mom focused on my career, and I didn't want any of it. But then
there was a waiting list. Okay.
I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think we dated, and you ended up coming over, and you never left.
I remember somebody dropping off an engagement ring on your porch. Remember that? Remember that? Okay, so let's get the record straight. Yes, folks. I had to fight to get her. Yes.
Well, I'm grateful.
Who drops an engagement ring off in somebody's porch?
Well,
yeah.
But I gave it back.
And I wanted to sell it.
Yeah, he wanted to hawk it. I was like, no, I'm going to give this back. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you forgot. We could have used the money. Okay.
Well, so we got married, and only
it was a cool wedding on the beach. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember when the sun was cloudy, and then.
And this is before like Instagram was a thing, or Instagram wasn't even invented yet. And so We went to El Matador Beach, which if you go there now, it's like photographers everywhere
It's in
getting
Malibu for folks that don't know. It's pretty cool beach, really nice beach.
getting.
It's
Yeah.
where they filmed Gone with the Wind. That's where the scene is, Gone with the Wind. That film, beach
Gone
is-
with the Wind or that few?
No, it's Gone with the Wait.
No.
Oh, no.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's famous for that beach scene. It was beautiful, beautiful.
And we just had just the two of us and my friend Marilyn and Bob as our witness,
And
and Mary
Savannah.
was the photographer. And we had such an active lifestyle. I mean, we worked out together, we had jet skis, we every month would take a trip to the river and
Twice a
go.
week, twice a month we'd go to the river for boating. Yeah, we were big on that. That was awesome.
And our fun time was riding our motorcycles together.
Mhm.
And I always say, yeah, I wanted to go out with you because you look good in uniform and you rode a Texas chopper.
That's funny. That's my chopper. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Remember when I pulled up on it, it says, "Hey, Texas chopper, you fell in love."
I was like, okay, I'm in. And
That's
y'all, he
true.
did look good in a uniform. But you've been retired now for what, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. Well, we were only married 2 years, maybe. No, a little
No,
over
the,
2 years
the accident
before
was
I
in
had my accident.
2010, May of 10, right?
Yeah,
May of 2010. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow, it's been that long. Wow.
and I actually want to know from you what that was like that day when you were home. We were looking forward to a holiday weekend. I remember finishing with work. I had run my best time ever. So I felt good. I'd trained clients, and I remember the cool girl from the gym had invited us over for tacos that night. And I was like, oh my gosh, the cool girl's inviting us over for tacos. And I was on my way home, and there's just such freedom when you're on a motorcycle, and I could feel the wind blowing through my hair. And then I was hit, and I was screaming out your number. And so your phone, you said, started just ringing off.
Well,
like,
I believe we were going to do a quality. We were going for a date ride together, right? I believe, and we were going to spend some time together. And I left the gym too, and I said, "I'll see you at home." And I get home maybe probably left a few minutes before you did. And as I'm getting ready in the kitchen, I don't forget we had the flip phones back in the day, and my phone kept ringing. I thought it was work, but I knew it wasn't working. My phone kept ringing and ringing. I wasn't answering. And I go, something's got to be on. So I finally answered the phone, and it was some nurse that you reached out to a lot. Well, you were still bleeding out.
well, it was a nurse. I didn't know who she was. She came to my side and
She
was,
said, "Hi, I'm such and such. Emily's been involved in an accident." And I go, "Shit." I go, "Where?" She said, "Vista Ford." Blah, blah. So immediately I jumped in we had the Tahoe back then. Remember the black Tahoe? And I remember driving down the wrong way on Topanga Canyon, wrong way Ventura Boulevard, and pulling up, and there we are.
what do you mean the wrong way? Like going,
On the wrong way, because I was running all the red lights.
oh.
Cop mode kicked in. And
Because y'all, if you don't know, I mean, a lot of listeners know you
I
and you
was
are.
I was a sergeant, a motor sergeant for the Highway Patrol at that time.
Were you? You hadn't
was a
promoted
sergeant.
yet?
No, I haven't promoted. I was a sergeant at the time, and I was a motor sergeant. And I got to the scene immediately. EMS is there, fire, LAPD, and I saw you holding your leg, and you were just bleeding out. And I go, "Wow." And I'm a first responder, you know that, and recipient of a Medal of Valor, you know that, pulling up a hero, right? But I'm used to seeing people dying. I'm used to seeing people bleeding out. But when it's one of your own, so I kind of froze. I said, and I remember grabbing you. And luckily, there was paramedics everywhere. And our lives were changed in an instant. I mean, upside down. And I've always said, I've told you, we're not in control of our faith. We never are.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Well, when we got to the hospital is when I think I started to realize it was a little more serious than I thought. I mean, I had excruciating pain, and remember, squeezing the paramedic's leg in the ambulance, and I was trying to get him to make eye contact with me, and I couldn't get him to look at me. And I thought, oh my gosh, is he not looking at me because he knows I'm going to die? And when we got to the hospital, the ER, the room was filled with cops. That's all I
Yeah,
could
the,
see.
you know, as a family, as soon as the word got out who I was, everybody responded. We even shut down the freeway. But I knew it was serious when they bagged you. For the
What do you mean
listeners,
bagged me?
they put a
Like,
compression, it's an air suit on your leg to keep
Oh.
you from bleeding out. And from experience, usually people get bagged to die. From my
Oh.
experience, they bag you because you're losing your blood pressure because you're losing so much blood. And I remember there was an EMS, and I couldn't believe they were there so quick. And I'm grateful to God. I think they were having coffee, the Coffee Bean. They were right down the street, and they witnessed the accident, and that's why they. I remember looking up and seeing a guy running down Ventura Boulevard holding his EMS bag. So they must have been. We were lucky because those were minutes, the critical minutes, and you were just bleeding out. But I knew it was serious once they bagged you from experience, and then they loaded you up. I'm grateful to God you were there, and I remember getting a police escort. CHP showed up.
Oh, there was tons of cops.
They even responded a helicopter, and they took you to Trauma One Northridge. They were going to take you to UCLA, but they took you to Northridge, which is a phenomenal. I'm grateful. It's a level 1 trauma.
Well, I remember being there, and I had never seen you cry.
It was intense.
And you were running back and forth. And after I got well enough to recover, you said, well, you didn't see what I saw. They were reaching into your leg and pulling your artery and trying to attach it and hit hold on to it.
To set up the scene, we're at the ER room full of police officers. It's a family, it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, brothers and sisters in uniform. But here comes Dr. Adele Jabor. Guy rolls in a suit. And remember, it was Memorial Day weekend, it was a Friday, and all the really powerful, good doctors are on vacation. It's the interns, the guys at the bottom of the totem pole that have to get stuck working the weekend. And here rolls Dr. Adele Jabor, and I owe him, we both owe him everything, in a suit. And he immediately takes off his blazer, and they suit him up like you see on TV. And he didn't even have gloves on. And he reached into your leg, and he grabbed your femoral artery. I'll never forget this. And he said, I have it. I need to clamp it. He went to clamp it, and it slipped like a rubber band. And I'll never forget the sound of it. And then it squirted him, and it covered him in blood. And that's a femoral artery pumping. And then he used the appropriate tools, and he finally clamped it, and because you were bleeding out. And they were prepping you to graft, to go to surgery, because they were going to graft. I didn't know this. We have an extra artery in our both legs. They were going to graft the artery from the left leg to your new leg, because they didn't think they can salvage your femoral artery in your right leg, because you were bleeding out.
Yeah, it was weird to wake up after
7 days.
7 days being in a coma, but to wake up and then look down at yourself and see, I remember the incision on the left side he made an incision. I still have a scar there.
They marked they prepped you to remove they were gonna.
But to look down at my leg, and when I first woke up out of a coma, I had these tubes in my throat, and I remember waking up, and you were the first person I remember seeing.
They intubated you,
and you had tears in your eyes, and I started flailing my arms around and trying to rip out the tubes, and the nurse was like, oh no, honey, don't do that. Get her a pad and a pen. And the first thing I wrote on the paper was, get off my tubes. Because you were leaning on my tubes and I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I was blocking.
But it was like you had tears in your eyes, and then the next thing I wrote was, don't tell Savannah. And I had no idea that I had been out for so long. And then I saw my mom, and I thought, oh my gosh, if my mom's taken off work, this must be serious. If she's flown all the way out here, how long have I been out? And also I remember it being such a struggle, because when you're put in a coma, to me it seemed just like yesterday, and I had no idea that I had been out for a week. And then is when they told me they wanted to amputate my leg. And when I had posted something about I want to have my husband on the show for the 100th episode. There were so many people that were so excited that you were going to be on the show. And my friend David Seward, who's been on the show, he had said that he has such respect for you that it was really because of you that I have both my legs, because they were going to amputate it while I was in a coma and you told them not to.
No, I remember within the first hour of being there, we were in the cafeteria. It was all, as a matter of fact, there was a sea of law enforcement, and I was sitting there with some colleagues, friends, and Dr. I'm not going to mention his name. Did we mention his name in the book? I don't think we did.
No.
Okay. He comes up to me and tells me, Mr. Lago, I said, short, I'll never forget this, short. I believe me, and I've been in plenty ER rooms. I mean, my career is. So it's kind of ironic. I felt at home being there because I'm spent so much time at the hospital dealing with the aftermath and patients. And he says, short of a warm wound, I've never seen anything like this. We're going to have to amputate. And I said, amputate. And I kicked into my cop mode, and I go, how much time do I have? Or does she have? He says, we've got 72 hours because the blood flow, the tissue will start dying because your leg wasn't getting any blood. Mm-hmm. So the tissue started dying. So he gave me a 3-day window or 2-day, I forget, 2-day window, I forget. And I specifically told him no. And I signed a cease and desist. Said, you're not touching her. And he looked at me and he left. He was angry. I didn't care. And then I went into what I do. I reached out to Henry, my contacts.
Didn't you Google limb salvage?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Immediately, I reached out to Henry, Dr. Lubo. For those of you, he's an incredible friend, incredible doctor. And remember, he didn't call me back. Remember, it's Memorial Day weekend, so everybody's out of town in LA. And I start salvaging, Google researching, and Dr. Wiss. What's Dr. Wiss's first name? I forget.
Don.
Got it for a while. He came up number one in Los Angeles and U.S. Cedars, but he only sees A-list. It was almost impossible to see him. So Henry called me back, and I said, Henry, I need you. And for those that aren't listening, Henry, Dr. Lugo was in a really bad motorcycle accident, and I saved his life. For lack of better words, I'm not proud of it, but
well, you should be proud of it.
But I remember telling Henry, you owe me.
You owe me. I saved your life. You owe me.
You owe me, and whatever. He's like a father.
Yeah, y'all were friends. But you owe me. So you used that card.
And I said, he said, I got Henry. I need to get a hold of Don Wiss. He's at Cedars. He said, Johnny, that's my doctor. I got it, and I explained to him what they wanted to do at Northridge, and he goes, hand the phone to the head nurse who's at the ICU, and he took over. You were his primary, or he was your primary, and he called the shots.
I just remember being there going, we're going to get you transferred, and I was like, I was in so much pain, and I kept saying, I was just hanging on to hope that, okay, they gave me a 1% chance of saving it. I'm going to hang on to that. And I was like, how much longer is it going to be until I get transferred? And it was like such an act of God to get me transferred. But
there was a lot of red tape that you were stable. There was so much red tape, liability, and I understood that. And I remember Dr. Jabor coming to me, and we finally got you transferred. I remember reaching out to the governor's office. Schwarzenegger was our governor. I had contacts there, the head of his detail. I reached out to everybody, and somebody came through.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm not sure who, but they cut the red tape. And I remember getting a call from Don Wiss.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, calls me, Mr. Lago, I'm Dr. Wiss. He was lecturing somewhere in the Midwest, I believe.
And he wasn't supposed to even be back until Monday. And I remember finally getting transferred, and he came into the hospital that Sunday night in a suit.
He just got back. just go back.
When I saw the name tag D Wiss, I started crying and I reached out and grabbed his arm and I
Yeah.
said, "You're the man who's going to save my leg." And he said,
Mhm.
"Well, we're going to try. We're going to go in and clean everything up." But as
Getting you there was, it took an act
Mhm.
of God, and I sympathize with folks now. And my God, what an act! Just the bureaucracy, the red tape. But they came. Our friends came through for us. They did.
that's like, I think,
Or else you'd be an amputee right now. No doubt in my mind. If I'd have left you at Northridge, you would have been an amputee.
well, I get a lot of people that ask me, "Do you wish you would have had your leg amputated?
Hmm.
Do you wish I would have had my leg amputated?"
You know what? That's a tough one.
Would have been a lot easier.
Sometimes I say yes. Remember you screaming, "I wish I just cut my leg off." Remember that?
Yeah.
It's a tough decision. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an ansur to that.
I
Because
wanted,
I look at you like when we go to the beach and you're in a bikini, you're incredible, and people they don't even know until they look down. They go, "Oh my God!" And you guys funny. Remember when we were at SeaWorld and look, you were wearing your shorts and the lady looked down and we said, "Oh, shark bite."
yeah.
Because they don't, once they
Mm.
see you're different. And I remember I see you walking down. Remember when you were running with Ruby on the beach, and they said, remember I forget, the doctor said you would never run again, and yet you were running. You defied all the odds. You really did. And but on the flip side, what your friends and your followers and your community doesn't see is the pain that you go through every day.
Mhm.
And there's times that I wish I would have said, "Yeah, just cut her leg off, take it off." But then I turn around and I go, when I see you walking, when I see you in a bathing suit,
Mhm.
when we were in Mexico in Cabo, and I go, "Wow, you look, you're amazing." And I go, I don't know, whenever, that's a tough question. And do I regret? No, absolutely not. I have no regrets. And I always said it was
That was what I was going to ask you next. Do you wish you could take it all back?
no. I
Why?
did. I think I made the right decision, because at the ultimate, I want it to be your decision, not mine. Your decision, unless it was catastrophic, where there was no going back. But when they gave us that chance of hope, and Adel Jabor, the first challenge, the first bridge we had to cross, remember he was telling me, was the blood flow.
Mm-hmm.
If we couldn't get blood flow to the leg, we had to amputate. And so we had, that was the first hurdle you overcame, and we got blood flow. So then we could save the leg. And we're asking Jabor. We had a lot of conversations while you were in your 7-day coma. But he said, once we get the blood flow, that means the skin, we could, absolutely, we can save the leg.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a quality of life.
And that's so true, that a lot of people, even people that know me well, don't understand the pain that I live with every day. In fact, yesterday I had a really good day. It's the first day that I have felt better since getting over COVID, and then getting back from a couple of events where it takes a lot of energy, and I was on my feet.
You push yourself beyond. You're extraordinary. You push yourself beyond, and that's an issue that I've had with you, that you don't rest enough. You're a machine.
Well, it's hard because when I have a good day and I feel good, my favorite thing to do is to work out. My favorite thing to do is to be at events and be with people. And then it's a really fine line juggling, like, or trying to decide how far I can push myself because I want to do more, and then when to give myself the grace and say, okay, but I'm learning, like this last event that I went to. So doing events, I love, but I think you realized for the first person when you went to an event with me and you could see, like, oh my gosh, you're on your feet nonstop. It's sometimes 12, 14, 16-hour days sometimes, especially if there's a book signing or there's a soiree or a gala or anything like that. And to deal with complex regional pain syndrome was the disease I was diagnosed with. You're in pain all the time. So this last event was the first time that I have ever like said no to some of the networking and went to my room and laid down, said no to a dinner and went to my room and rested. And I still had a hard time recovering. And I get back and it's like I've been fighting a war or something. I mean, I feel just exhausted, filled up in my heart, but my body's completely exhausted. And yesterday I went for a 6 mile hike, and today I got out of bed and I could barely walk. I had to put
Okay,
Voltaren or
hold on, folks. You
Voltaren.
heard that she went on a 6 mile hike.
Yeah.
How do we
And it
ride
was a
hike?
fast pace because I hike with my
Okay.
friend Samantha Harris,
Okay,
and that girl
she's
is a
crazy.
machine. And
She's
so,
crazy too. You both of you are crazy. Okay. Well, having said that.
well, you live and learn, but you know what? I I remember going into Dr. Wiss and you said, "Oh my gosh, Doc, you wouldn't believe what she did this week."
Is that when you broke the plate?
No, it's before I broke the
Do
plate, I
your,
think. I was
does the
doing the
audience know you
flying.
broke your plate? You're walking around with a broken leg? Folks, for the record, she's in Texas. She's got a, titanium plate in her leg and she breaks the plate.
Well, my leg was all plated up, so there wasn't enough bone to put a rod. So they put plates, just kind of stacked plates in my leg.
Titanium plates. Probably one of the hardest metal composites known to man. And my wife breaks her plate and she's walking around with a broken leg
For weeks,
for weeks. She's
actually.
in Texas, almost nauseated from the pain.
Oh, I got to the point where I couldn't
I said,
take
okay,
one step.
something's not right. So we go back to Cedars and see Dr. Wiss. And I remember when he looked at, he was upset.
Well,
He was
just to
upset.
describe what it was like, when I would take a step,
Your leg would
the
bow.
part of my leg between my knee and my ankle that's not supposed to bend would bow out with each step.
I'll never forget Dr. Wiss's look.
Well, remember, I sat in front of him. I
Well,
said,
no,
"Look
he-
at what my leg
Yeah.
can do."
No,
And
but-
I bent it in
But
front
when
of
he looked
him.
at the x-rays, he was pissed.
He looked shocked,
'Cause
but
he
I still
said-
didn't know how serious it
Yeah, you
was.
snapped the titanium plate. And he looked at you and he said, how is that possible? I said, Doc, that's Amberly.
Well, he explained it very well. He said, imagine you have a big tree and you've got a big branch that comes off.
Mhm.
Over time, if you took that branch and you wiggled it a little bit and wiggled it a little bit, eventually it would break. He said that hardware is only as good as fast as your leg can heal.
recover.
So my leg, the bone, the non-union had not recovered in,
And that
I
was,
think
that
it
was a big concern.
mhm.
Because if that didn't recover, then we would have to amputate as well, remember? That was
That-
a huge, wow, you're taking me back. That was a big concern. And then the union finally, and then that's when they elected to do the rod.
they put the rod
That
in,
was
and
a
you remember,
13-hour surgery. I remember waiting on that one. 13 hours, my God.
and Dr. Sherman was there. They had to have two surgeons, one for the to do the muscle flap and skin
Oh, that's
grafts.
right, the
And,
muscle flap.
and Dr. Sherman came in and he said, when
Wow.
I went to my checkup, and he said, "I've never seen Dr. Wiss sweat that much
You
in
remember
my
that?
life." He had sweat dripping down, and Dr. Wiss knew how hard I fought to keep my leg, and he fought hard for me to keep
Our
it.
team of doctors, well, I'm grateful every day we were surrounded. This is attributed to Henry. Just the team of doctors that we
Mhm.
had were just exceptional. And
It's important.
without-
The team of people. We
Yeah.
had a team of nurses, pain management, doctors, friends, family, clients, all of those people. We could not have done it without them.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
and our door was a revolving door. Our door was never locked, and we constantly had people coming in and out and
You
visiting.
were there
And
for what, 3 months? 3 months, I believe, right?
yeah,
3
the
months?
first time. And then I was in the hospital for that surgery. They kept me in for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right.
They had to do another surgery. They couldn't even close my leg up all the way, so they had to put a compression.
Remember when they're changing remember they changing the bandages on you? I had to leave because of pain. Oh my God. Remember?
Yeah.
Every couple
The
hours?
pain was so bad that I couldn't control the screams that would come out, and I would hang on to the side of the railing on the bed, and I would scream, and it was so horrible that you couldn't even be in
I
a
had to leave, yeah,
room.
because I couldn't. I remember Dr. Terrace showing up at Northridge once,
Mhm.
and they were changing your band. You were screaming, screaming, and he's a doctor. He felt helpless. Nobody, yeah.
And that was another question I was going to have, actually, that somebody had written into the show,
which
um, is as a first responder and all your training, seeing so many horrific things, and you being kind of the fixer, like you often fix problems. You're there to protect and serve, basically, in your job. And what does that feel like as a husband when you can't fix my pain, when you see me in pain and you can't fix it?
feeling of helplessness. There's nothing you can do, and it's hard dealing with it. See, something I was one of the struggles I had, and it's funny. I at work they asked me to write a book because there's an issue military and law for lots more enforcement is paramilitary. But we're trained as first responders to drive up to the scene, and we see mayhem all the time. Everybody, you know that. And I keep going back to the Metrolink. That's probably the worst. You pulled out 26 dead bodies, but you go into this.
And you guys, that's what he got his Medal of Valor for.
You go into this reactive mode to save, and the Metrolink. I went from being a rescue to a recovery. Recovery meaning that everybody's dead. And you're trained for that, but when it hits home, when it's one of somebody you love, how do you train for that? How do you prepare yourself for that? Because we're human, right? We're all emotionally, and you can't turn the switch on and off. And that was one of the things I was able to do at work. I was able to come home and turn it off. And it's kind of morbid, sounds kind of cynical, but they kept me alive. I would roll up to a dead body, amputated, and I would go, well, it's not me, but it's my wall that kept my sanity. But when I saw you, everything went out the window, and feeling of helplessness. There's nothing you can do. And that's one of the issues I dealt with. All the power, all the resources that I have had, you know that I've got and at the time, at the scene, I couldn't do anything. But once you were in the hospital and stabilized, I was able to do something, and that's what we got the Cedars and Henry and so forth. Because I don't think if it weren't for Henry and our contacts.
Well, what about now, though? With
Now
you see me and you
now
know,
it's tough. It's tough now too, because you're at a different. I remind you. That's all I can do. And you're a big girl, and you've been through it, and you get through it pretty good. But there's times when you just hit the wall, and I'm so used to it already. And there's nothing. I just nag you, and I know it bothers you. But I'm the one that reminds you, hey, I know you're going to crash. It's like I hate saying this. I know it because I've been living it. But I think I have to let you fall.
Well, there was one time, do you remember it? Powerful. You were in the back of the audience, and you were looking at me doing this, like,
oh yeah.
And I was like trying to give like this inspirational talk, and you were like, get off your leg, stop, get over it. There was
the folks. I can look at your pupils, and that's. I know you're about to crash. You will crash, and people haven't seen you crash. I don't think anybody's seen you crash. And when you go down, you go down. Mm-hmm. And I try to prevent that because I don't want you to crash in front of an audience. You're in so much pain that your body just, remember, you know what I'm talking about. You just collapse. And I don't mean physically, I mean your body just shuts down.
Well, I remember that one.
Your speech becomes lethargic. You just because you're.
It's like the pain gets so bad that my brain will not process. I can't even think anymore.
I don't want that to happen to you. Your community has never seen you like that. And
well, they've seen me pretty jacked up. I mean,
well, yeah, but it's
they've seen me.
No, but
but they have not seen me the way you have seen me. They don't see me when I get out of the bed in the morning and I can barely walk until it takes me time to get my leg moving, and they don't see me after a 3-day conference.
There's another side of you that they don't see, and I don't, and it shouldn't see. That's personal. We all have, that's personal. That's private, and we deal with it, and you deal with it really good because your folks, and that's the inspiration. They see this. How can this beautiful woman who's running, who's doing all kinds of crazy, you do crazy stuff that I won't even do. Remember, I'm telling you, go for hikes, and I go, I'm not doing that shit. But then there's a downside to that too. When you get home, they don't see that. So that's why you inspire so many people. And yeah, you do go
But
through
I
pain.
do talk about, I think in just a recent post, I actually talked about that it is fun to do events. And I even said in my post, I know you see me at these awesome
Mhm.
events, and what you haven't seen is I'm home.
Sure.
I'm struggling right
Yeah,
now,
you're just a normal person. You put your pants on every day just like everybody else. And
except for it takes a while to figure out
yeah,
what to wear
but
sometimes if I'm having a flare up.
I've read some of your comments because I follow you on social media. A lot of people think you're fake, you're super. No, you're human. You go through the pain. You just don't let.
There's a lot of people that think I'm fake.
Well, no, they criticize you. Remember the haters.
They do?
The haters. You know, we've talked about the haters.
Who's
that
out
one?
there hating on me,
Yeah,
honey?
okay. So, but what those haters don't realize, no, I believe you're in a lot of pain too. You just don't. You don't.
I don't let it define
Exactly.
me.
There you go. You don't boast it. You don't define, bro, you're in a lot of pain. But see, they don't see that. And I guess if they saw that, maybe they would.
But you know
no.
what? I share that I don't post me sitting up with my leg
True.
up on the couch and
True.
looking like
And
hell
you
and
shouldn't.
complaining all the time, because that brings me
Yeah,
down.
and it brings everybody down. I agree. I'm with you 100%. I'm the same way.
And
I
so
agree.
I don't want to do that. But why, I guess, did you decide to stay with me when it's been
What?
hard?
Why would you even ask that?
Well, it's a lot to go.
Why would I decide? What are you, crazy? You know?
Well, I mean,
Did you take anything this morning? Why would you even
No,
ask
I'm
that?
sober,
That's
honey.
I'm not gonna even answer that. That's ridiculous. Oh my God. Well, I married you till death do us part. There you go. Remember those vows?
Okay.
Till death do you part.
Well,
I would never. What do you think? I would actually leave you? Are you kidding me?
I'll
Yeah.
remember that. We got this recorded. We got that on tape right there.
We have a baby. I would never. That's not me.
Oh.
I'm sure I'm not gonna even respond to that.
Okay. Okay.
That's not gonna be.
Let's
Not
skip
me.
forward a little bit, because I know we're going over your time.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah, but I just want you then, after, seeing me recover.
Hold on. Somebody actually asked why I would stay with you.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. I'm like,
what?
I know I can be a lot.
That is, oh my
It's
God.
a lot.
It's a
I
lot.
mean,
But you know, Amberly, that's what marriage. It's a unity. My God. Till death do us part. I take our vows. Our vows are hard, man. I'm old school. Are you kidding me?
yeah, well,
No,
you're a good
no,
man. I mean, there's a
no.
lot
I
of
think
people. Johnny, I just talked to a friend on the phone yesterday who deals with a chronic illness, and
Mhm.
her husband left. Her husband couldn't handle it. There's a lot of couples out there that break up because they can't handle it when the going gets tough. And I think it's a
Okay.
true testament to the person that you are, that you showed up the way that you did, and you fought for me every step of the way. And there were things that there's no way I could have dealt with when I was in the hospital.
I think the majority of men would stay by their wives, personally. I mean, but you know, I'm an old school. I think the majority, all my friends, I mean, yeah, okay, I believe, yeah, I'm sure. But
Oh, well, I mean, I've been
I
divorced
don't
twice, so
yeah, I would, Emily,
I've met some not so great men. That's why
Yeah.
when I met you, I was like, no, I think
it
I'm
was tough, I'll
good. And
tell
then
you
I
what.
met you.
And that's one of the reasons I'm glad we're relocating to be around family, because we were here alone. We had nobody. Well,
Well,
Maryland.
y'all you heard it here first. We're relocating.
Oh.
It's official. We
We're
are moving
Yeah, we're moving.
to Dallas.
We leave in 2 months.
We're moving to
excited.
Dallas. By the time oh gosh, no, this is coming out next week.
Oh, okay.
Okay, y'all, you heard it here first.
We're going to Dallas.
We're moving after being in LA for 31 years. We're moving.
I want to be around family, Ruby. As we get older, Ruby needs to be around her family. We've talked about we got to go to Miami or Dallas. And Dallas, you got the equestrian, which is big. I just want to be. Family is huge.
family is huge. And
Being around
and
family.
yesterday I was thinking, oh my gosh, who's going to dye my roots?
Oh, God.
What doctors? So
Whitney will take
anybody listening that's a great hairstylist, please reach out to me.
No,
I'm going to
but,
have some gray hairs growing in here pretty
But
soon.
I'm excited because Truby's going to be around all her cousins. We're going to be around your family. It'll be the first Christmas we've been with your family since we've been married in Texas. That's huge.
Yeah.
It'll be odd, different, but we're going to try. We've been talking about it for years, and we need to be.
And we
around.
actually have a media room in the house.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah,
So this is
we got a pretty cool house.
our oldest daughter's bedroom that I converted into my office when the pandemic hit. And this will actually have a nice sound room, media room. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
But
good
there's
room.
going to be, it's going to be a lot of change because I'm
Yeah.
on the road starting 2 weeks. I'll be in Dallas for a conference. I'll be there for embrace your ambition. And then I've got another conference called Transform You. So yeah, those links are down here in the show notes. If you want to come see me, I'd love to see you. Come hug me. So I know somebody there, and then I get back and we pack up and leave.
Yeah, we're 3/4 of the way through. But
Yeah, and I'm glad that, I've been really busy with work and lots of stuff going on. Grateful to be doing in-person events again. And you've been taking over the whole project of moving, which I'm really grateful for, like setting up the Tesla charger because they have no superchargers anywhere there.
no, it's been a journey, but we've been talking about it. It's time. If we don't do it now, we'll never do it. And I'm looking for a change too. As I'm watching Ruby get older, and I'm just grateful she's going to be around her cousins and family. We have your father, your mom, your grandmother, your sisters, your cousin. Oh my God, we've got our own gang out there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
huge.
And I mean,
family
all of
is-
my work is online and then traveling for events.
And
And
Dallas is a happening city, so Dallas is a gorgeous city.
but do you think that it's going to be a culture shock to you?
No, I'm in a different place. I can go with the flow. Rupees.
It's going to be the first time you've been away from ocean, though, isn't it?
If it doesn't work out, we're keeping our house here in LA, so we can always come back. But my primary concern is, as yours is too, is Ruby.
Yeah,
Ruby,
she seems
Ruby,
excited.
She's excited. She's packing, and she's excited as long. And so we have to try it. We have to do this. We have to. There's no choice.
Well, it'll be nice to be around family. My dad's
and like
really
I said,
excited.
after a year, like you said, after a couple of months, we'll know if we want to stay. If we don't, we'll come back home.
Yeah. So yeah, what we're doing, we're going to keep our house.
We're keeping our house here in LA.
Backup, and we're going to, rent it out. And if we want to come back to LA, who knows? I might get booked for some incredible job hosting a TV show or something in LA. I'm going to be on a game show.
So we'll come back and we have our house here.
Did you know I'm going to be on a game show?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm going to be on a game show called 25 Words or Less.
When?
Next month.
Oh, wow.
And so, okay, he's
Warner
falling
Brothers
asleep again.
Studios, where it's local? You don't know?
It's local.
Century City.
But do I surprise you with things that I tell you that I'm going to?
No, you surprised me, but I'm so used to it.
You're so used to it.
I'm so used to it. You're a different animal. Nothing surprises me anymore with you.
Oh, really?
But,
okay.
One day at a time. I just wish, and I've reiterated this, man, I need you to slow down. You've got to slow down. Everybody, you're a machine. I told you, you're an absolute machine. You look at them, you like, okay, because you pay the price, Emily.
I know. I'm slowing down. Hey, I canceled an appointment today.
Well, I'm proud of you, but you just go 100 miles an hour, and you have an illness. You have a disease, and it's not going away. And we're managing it. There's no cure.
I like to forget that I have it until it catches up to me.
Exactly, and when it catches up to you, it's too late. It
just takes a little bit of time.
So your shortcoming, you were asked, is I need you to slow down. And I know your passion for it, but my God. I think we all have to slow down.
That was that. Remember when I came up with Pacer?
Mm-hmm.
And it was first going to be pace. So I'm reading off, like I come up with this brilliant idea. He tells me to pace myself, and I'm like, I do pace myself. In fact, that's how I'm resilient. And I'm like, see, pacer stands for perspective. And I shift my my mindset with gratitude. That's the easiest way to shift your perspective. And I talk about acceptance is the A, and community is a C, and endurance is the E, and I get to R's for rest and recovery. And he goes, you are so full of shit. You do not rest. And I'm like, well, I'm learning. And that is something that's
Wow.
really hard for
Well,
me is,
you get a D for that.
yeah, I'm not so good at that. Okay.
All right.
We're going to do some rapid fire. Are you ready? This is something I never do on the show, but with you, I thought it'd be fun.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. If you won $1 million this week, how would you spend it?
I would donate it to the homeless right now. Seriously.
Donate it to the
In
homeless?
LA. Yeah, right now. There's so much
What would they do with that money?
help get them off the street. This LA is horrible. I'm so grateful the place that we're in. I would donate, seriously. I would give it away to the homeless, to the needy. I'm pretty grateful for where we're at, but you've seen the devastation in the
There's a
street.
lot of homeless.
I see people every day I drive by and I'm grateful. And this guy's sleeping. Like when we have Ruby in the car,
Mhm.
we're having in and out, and I drive by and I go, Ruby, look, the guy's sleeping on the sidewalk. You see how
Mhm.
grateful I want you to. So yeah, I would donate it.
Yeah. So
I would do that.
at this event that I just spoke at called Secret Knocker, I interviewed people at Dan Flashman, I believe it was Dan Flashman, who donated backpacks, and
That's pretty cool what he did. That
it's
is
got
nice.
stuff for cleaning, it's got food like
The
canned,
water
it's got
tank.
water,
Wow.
it's got all kinds of stuff, like a blanket,
That's
it's
amazing.
new
That's
socks.
about $250, $300 for that. He's got a lot of money.
It
there.
was
Yeah,
incredible,
yeah.
yeah. And so we are looking for the right person. There is actually a homeless person that lives around
Wally,
here, Wally,
we're
that
gonna find him.
we'll find. We want to give that to him. Okay, next question. If you
Mhm.
had 3 wishes, go.
Oh my God.
3
Well,
wishes.
health. My God, all of us, health, longevity, and just health. And my 3 wishes would be health, to be healthy. After what we've been through, I don't care how much money is irrelevant if you don't have your health. And that's funny because I think of Steve Jobs all the time.
Mhm.
Here's the richest man in the world and he died of cancer. I mean, so health, yeah. Come make it one wish, health.
Mhm. Well, if you are known for one thing in your life, what would it be for?
Loyal.
Yeah, that's true. What's
And honest. And I tell you straight up, if you know that, Emily, if you ask me, how many times have you asked me, what do you think of this dress?
yeah.
Okay, don't ask me because I'm going to tell you, you look like. Okay.
Oh, well, speaking of that, I just want to say that because of you and how you loved me
Mhm.
with all my scars and everything, you helped me learn to love myself too.
Mm.
So, thank
Babe, your leg
you.
is amazing. I
Oh,
mean, it's better. We've had the discussion of how many times have you said, I remember during pain, folks that you get, I just wish I would have cut it. No, no, no. Remember we were at the store the other day or the last month and kid was reaching for a box of cereals and we looked, let me help you, looked and it was a double amputee. Remember that? We were at Ralph's and they're shopping and I go, wow. And, but no,
well, there's plenty of amputees that are my biggest inspiration.
I
Is
know, I
Andy
know.
Purdy.
And so I wonder, as I'm going back to that, I reflect back on that, I see them living. But what I would like to ask them, and I won't, are you living in pain too?
Yeah.
That's pretty personal. Do you know how many times I've been wanting to approach somebody and say, hey, because you look good, but my wife looks good too, but are you also living in pain?
Mm-hmm.
So is that the unintentional consequence? You know, I sacrificed, well, sometimes you have no choice, but we had a choice.
Mm.
And I wanted that choice. I wanted that
Well,
choice to be yours, not
well,
mine.
you really loved me and helped me accept my scars. And so I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome.
I love you. Okay. What's the trait you value the most in a partner?
Honesty. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Would
First and
you
foremost.
would you rather travel the world and be poor or stuck in one country and be rich?
I don't care about being rich. As I get older, I don't want to travel. I just,
Wait. Take that. You don't want to
I
travel, and
don't, as I guess we're getting older,
you don't want to
I
travel?
don't want to try. I do,
Oh
but
God, I want to travel and I want to be
it's getting
rich.
so crazy traveling now. The times have changed. Times are it was crazy traveling with
But
COVID.
when
But
I
absent COVID and all these restrictions that we've been put on, yeah, I would want to travel. But now when you travel, like we're talking about going to Hawaii, you got to go to quarantine for 10 days. Like, who the hell wants to do that? Absent COVID, pre-COVID, I would have said travel.
okay.
But COVID has changed the whole world. But this is a new world, the new normal now. And you know that, I believe the trouble wearing the mask, all these restrictions, you can't have fun anymore.
Okay. What's the worst memory you have?
Oh my God, rolling up to the scene and watching you bleeding out. And I couldn't do anything about it.
What's the best memory you have?
Ruby, holding Ruby in my arms.
Oh,
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
And last question, if you could change one thing about our relationship, what would it be?
Oh my God, the accident. If I could
Really?
just turn that off.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it made us grow stronger.
Yeah, but it was really extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I believe if it weren't for my job, I don't think I left work for 3 months. Who could do that in the private sector? I left work for 3 months, came back and still have my job still. Who could do that in the private sector? I don't think anybody could. And I'm grateful to God every day. We reflect back on that. The insurance, the cost, our medical bills were, oh my God, in the millions.
I married him because of his insurance.
Yeah.
That's
But
what you always say.
but like I said, I've always said, you're not in control of your faith. And I've always said a soul with no faith is a lost soul. I truly believe, like that day, you're not in control of your faith. I don't care who you are. Our lives were turned upside down. And we're all tested, right? And I think we passed the test.
We passed the test. You heard it right here.
I think so.
On True Grit and Grace.
I think so.
Honey, thank you for celebrating my 100th episode.
Yeah, I remember when you started this journey. My God, it's been 100 already.
It's 100 episodes. We're going on,
folks. So I'm going to end this. Remember when you hit me up about the book back in early January of 2010? No, it took a year to write the book.
Oh no, I took the book published in 2018. We
were sitting at dinner. She says, "Honey, I want to write a book." And I said, "Okay, here she goes." I said, "Go for it." Boy, do I have egg all over my face.
Because you were like, yeah, right. Is more like it. You were like, right. You don't even have a computer.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. And I said,
whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to do it.
You did. And that's why that's why I keep telling you, you're a different animal.
So now when I tell you I'm going to do something.
Yeah,
well, you should know.
And I'm proud of you. That's why it attracts me to you. You're an alpha. I've told you, I've always been attracted. You're a strong woman, besides the beauty and the looks, but it's the confidence. And I'll never forget that sitting there. I remember I was having an egg omelet and I said, "Oh, here she goes. She's being crazy. She's going to write a book." Wow, whatever. Okay, babe, go for it.
Oh, that was a whole journey though, because I remember when the book came in the mail, you were just like,
that's an understatement.
You were almost like, oh, this is really happening.
You know what? You did it by yourself. You did it by yourself. That's what blows me. Well, we eventually got a publicist.
Yeah. But Jill, I just texted Jill today.
Yeah, but I mean, the actual everything, it was a journey. And I go, man, she pulled it off. Holy crap. It's a big deal. Yeah, it was a big deal. And guess what? I'm going to write another one. And go for it. Go for it. You have at it. Oh, well, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'm really grateful for you You're welcome. It's taken me 100 episodes to get you to be on. Well, it's been 100. Huh? Yeah, this is a big 100th episode celebration right now. We need to get Ruby on. Yeah. Okay. So y'all send me a DM if you think I should have Miss Ruby Lago, my 13-year-old, on the show. She is a little entrepreneur. Let me know. Part of the journey. Yeah. She's old enough to understand. She's been there. She sees, you know what I mean? She's sensitive. She knows when mama's hurting. She goes, "Dad, mom's hurting." I go, "Yeah, back off." Oh, well. Thank you for tuning in.
Make sure you subscribe to the show and reach out to me at 818-214-7378 if you have any show ideas or any questions at all. And thank you, Johnny Lago.
Bye-bye.